Hey there, this is Stephen from Brand Avatar. So what we have here is a demo site that we've set up for Amy, our digital person. This is just a short intro video where she just introduces herself and invites you to have a conversation with her. We've also got a disclaimer here, which is just to say that the way in which she has been built in terms of her knowledge base is really the combination of two things. The one is information that we've put into her, and this is what we call a knowledge base. And then that's got an undertone of ChatGPT. So there's an LLM there that is driving her conversation. What this allows is for us to have specific information that we want her to talk about in the context of the freedom of an LLM. The other way that you could do this is you could use natural language processing. You could build an entire conversation tree with variations and variables built into it, and then allow the DPE to drive that. That gives you a lot more control in terms of the scripted answers, as well as what we call the happy path, so the particular route that you want someone to follow. But it does then limit you in terms of actually having a free flow conversation. And so there's pros and cons to both. What I'm going to be demonstrating to you today is the first version I spoke about. Just a side note here, and that is if you have an existing chatbot, it's quite easy to actually convert that conversation information into a knowledge base or into an NLP if it's not already in an NLP for a digital person to actually make use of. So what that allows you to do really is put a human face to the conversation and make your interactions more human-like, as opposed to a chatbot which is quite cold and clinical. So what I'm going to do is, this is just the standard UI that we're using at the moment, and she appears here as a small box that when we click on that, it'll just load her up.
Hello there. Welcome to Brand Avatar, where our mission is to help humanize brands. If you have any questions, let's chat.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask a few questions and let's see how she responds. Hi Amy, who is Brand Avatar?
Hey there. Brand Avatar is not just a regular creative agency. We're the cool cats who design fabulous avatars and photorealistic digital people for brand communication. We're all about using avatars as digital actors to steal the show in brand videos. Think of us as the ultimate storytellers in the digital world. If you want to dive deeper into our awesomeness, check us out at www.brandavatar.co.
Okay, so a couple of things are happening there. The first thing is that information, each time you ask that question, she will actually give it to you in a slightly different way because it's not pre-scripted. So making each experience and interaction with her feel fresh. The other thing that you'll notice is that the animation feels incredibly lifelike. So apart from the photorealism of the image itself, you can actually see that the animation, the movements, the blinks, the little gestures where she looks away to kind of think when she's retrieving information, all of these little subtleties play into this idea that she is a digital person and that she will make real connections with your audience. It's not just a cold facade. Let's ask a few more questions. So Amy, how does Brand Avatar humanize a brand?
Well, darling, Brand Avatar works its magic by creating captivating avatars and digital people that give brands a voice, personality, and a touch of humanity. We sprinkle a bit of that special sauce to make brands more relatable, engaging, and consistent across all platforms. It's like having a virtual best friend for your brand. Want to know more about our enchanting process? Swing by www.brandavatar.co for a closer peek.
Something I just want to point out at this stage is that there are ways in which we can integrate other forms of media into the digital person and into the UI itself. So, for example, if this was being used as part of an induction process or as an application process, we could have fields here where you could put in information and so on, and she could guide you through that process. We can also pull up links and videos and things like that that help to make this experience multimodal. So it gives her the reality and the animation of her on the one hand, but then on the other hand, we're able to access other pieces of information. She can also access a database. So for example, if we're using an avatar at an event, or if you are having customers that are returning or staff, she can access a database of who they are, and then we'll be able to answer them directly and speak to them personally. Okay, so just in terms of how the ChatGPT element of that comes through, I'm just going to ask her another random question, and let's see what she can come up with. So, Amy, do you think that digital people should have rights?
Oh, honey, that's quite the intriguing question. While I don't have personal opinions or feelings like a human does, digital people are all about enhancing brand communication and customer engagement. We're here to dazzle and delight, not debate rights and freedoms. If you want to explore this topic further, you can schedule a chat with Stephen Hall, our creative director, at www.brandavatar.co.
Okay, so as you can see, she sort of brought the conversation back towards brand avatar. So something else I'd just like to point out at this stage is that we have control over her personality. It's not just one personality that gets applied to any brand. The personality and the brand persona that we need to portray with the digital person is something that we have control over. And so we take time to really understand what that personality is and what the brand persona is, and then we translate that into the digital person. And that goes for in terms of how they look as well as their personality and how they come across. So if they are working in a bank, they may have a more conservative approach, whereas if they are working for a street brand, they may have a more edgy kind of funk to them. And so that is an important aspect of what makes a digital person unique, and especially over a chatbot, for example, is that that personality comes through. And it's that personality and those little moments that really help to resonate with the audience and drive that connection and engagement. Okay, so that concludes this short demo. Thanks so much for checking this out. Really, I hope it's given you some sense of what is possible with a digital person, both in terms of it being a communication tool for customer services, or as a digital concierge at an event, for example, or even as a digital tutor, whereby we can train a digital person on specific knowledge base within the company, and then people can log in and go and ask questions and interact with them as a tutor. Just in terms of the UI, this is just the standard UI. It can be full screen like that or smaller like this, which allows you to continue navigating, for example, if it's on a website. We can completely customize the UI to meet your brand requirements. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope to chat to you soon.